Guys, beer, sports. Join Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
Everybody, what's good? Hey, Sean and Brad, Guys Beer Sports. Hope things are well with you. Season 2, episode 11. Here we are back again for the first time, as sometimes we like to say. Feels, the world's choppy and, but I guess that's usual. So here we are. Sean, how are you?
I am great, man. How you doing?
Doing well. Good, good Saturday morning. Here in the Pacific Northwest, sun's out. I might hit a high of 70 today, get a sprinkler out,
Yeah, we're getting some nice weather finally here too. I think it's like 20 degrees.
Spring has sprung.
Yeah. 20 degrees Celsius, which is probably about 60 something Fahrenheit. Yeah.
I heard one time that if you want to get close to the swap, you just plus or minus 50 to the other one.
Yeah, it's close. 20 though, I don't think is 70. You're getting close to it though. You're like 66.
But it's upper 60.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Close counts. I mean, I'm an American.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because like one of your degrees is like one of our degree changes is like 4 of yours. You know what I mean? Like if we go up or down.
If you just go plus or minus 50 to whatever your temperature is, you're usually pretty close.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, sorry about this. We're talking about Celsius and Fahrenheit. I'm sure you're
sorry about it. It's guys, beers, and sports, man. This is guy stuff. We talk about the
guy stuff. Just talk about the temperature.
The older we get, we talk about the weather.
As I wear my nice floral pattern Hawaiian shirt. Yes. I'm calling it South Pacific shirt now because you just made me feel so terrible earlier.
Yeah, well, you didn't before. That's the thing.
Whatever.
So today we're going to talk about UFC 262. We're going to talk about the NFL schedule. We're going to talk about NBA and NHL playoffs. We'll talk about whatever else comes up through this grand scheme of things. Joined again this week by our friend Reed Homer. Who's a beautiful man in his own regard.
Absolutely. I think he just has
a shot. Kid. When you say that, what are you like? Oh, they're a beautiful person in their own regard. That just means like they're not classically beautiful, but in their own way. Like you, Sean, you're a beautiful person in your own regard. Anyway,
thank you,
folks. We'll be here next.
Look at you.
Don't change your Hawaiian shirt, you cultural appropriating buffoon. Look at you. You're not Hawaiian.
How am I a cultural appropriating? No, because you know what?
That's not your
not
culture.
Just Hawaiian. Just because because they decided to call it Hawaiian doesn't mean that it's not worn in the South Pacific.
Yes, it does.
That's an American ideology. Idealism.
Back to nationalism.
Back to facts.
I know how it was gonna go because sometimes when people jump on, like they're not quite ready or like they're muted or you know what I mean. Like I didn't know how hot you were coming in, so
I'm coming in pretty hot today, Brad. So
New Jack, the wrestler back from
rest in peace.
The 90s. Man, I can't believe he's dead. 58.
I can't.
Probably one of the most controversial wrestlers ever out there.
I'm amazed he made it to 58. What are you talking about? You can't believe it. He's
dead. Super true. He would put his own body on the line, but he was also very willing to put your body in the line as well.
Yeah. Just
stabbing
that shit on his forehead, that scar. It's just like I know exactly how he got the scar, and I've never seen this guy wrestle before. That's like the visual of that whole thing is just like it's upsetting. I imagine there's some kind of cheese grater involved.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Listen.
I used to wrestle with a guy. His name is Bloody Bill, and he would use the cheese grater. He put a safety pin in his head, rip the safety pin out, and then use a cheese grater to grate his own head.
Come on, that is fucking vile.
Yeah, so that's what he would do.
Did people not see the safety pin from as far away as they were? Or what was the deal?
No, you're talking about mall wrestling here, Brad. So I mean, you can see the safety pin just fine. We're not talking about.
It's like going to your kid's rendition of Peter Pan. You can see all the wires.
Yeah.
Just with man thongs.
But
yeah, Sean. At what point? Here's my question though, and I've always wondered this about that because I always see these videos that my buddies will share me of like these crazy low rent wrestling things where guys just fucking put it up there. at what point do we just realize that it's just torture porn?
I know. I mean, you have to sit there, especially. Well, don't forget the '96, right? '96. They were trying to push the envelope. You had the Monday Night Wars, right?
They're still doing it today, though. Like I'm still seeing these videos today.
No. Look at the WWE. The WWE is super.
The backyard circuit is alive and well. Son.
Oh, I know the backyard circuit, but who's watching the backyard circuit?
Everybody.
Who's coming out from there?
YouTube.
Yeah, because you want to laugh at somebody. You want to point and laugh.
The internet has made that stuff so accessible where some of these guys actually have like some considerable weight considering what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, but like, at what point is this just pornography? You know what I mean? Like,
Tom was born 30 years too late. Because if he'd have been born in this generation, like,
yeah. But here's the thing though, is
imagine that Sean at 30 right now, man, he'd be
Jason fucking Momoa.
Yeah. But just think, okay. Like these guys are going in there. They're just doing the shot.
That was a compliment, by the way.
I do. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I like it.
Look how flushed he is. He's just the same color as his shirt.
Like, oh my heavens to Betsy.
No, but seriously. So wrestling today, I think more people are trying to do the shock and awe as far as that in the backyard scene. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get noticed. I got to get noticed. You're going to do something like. But the thing is, though, is that here's the thing: you do that when you don't have the talent. I'm sorry, you do that when you don't have the talent. You have no mic skills. You can't wrestle. You don't even know how to do a lockup.
So isn't that like with anything though? Like you know, I listen to a lot of music and across a lot of different genres. In popular music today, you see like when people want to shock you, they'll drop an F-bomb when they were kind of like you know, when they're making that transition from like teeny bopper to like, oh, I'm a woman now. They'll like drop an F-bomb or whatever in there, or you know,
are you talking about Miley Cyrus?
No, not even Miley Cyrus, but yeah, you know, she not her in particular, but not her specifically, but I think she's actually wildly talented. But like when people are lacking skills,
that's because you have like the same
lacking
voice. Ability.
Yeah. Oh, her and I sound exactly the same. I smoke 3 cigars a day. I don't think Miley does.
He does something.
Yeah.
Not.
But you know, there's like when people aren't good at what they do, they have to be shocking somehow to you know, differentiate themselves. Yeah. And it's I think it's like that with a lot of different things.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, though, you know, okay, there's your 15 minutes of fame. Excellent. You know what I mean? I wanted to get back.
It's a cheap trick.
Yeah.
It doesn't lead to longevity necessarily.
No, you can't put your body through that unless you're a guy like Mick Foley or a New Jack or somebody like a Mick Foley. I'm always shocked to see that he's still alive and well and kicking. You know, like Terry Funk is still.
I don't know how well he is.
Yeah, Terry Funk is still around. You know, like these are the grandfathers of hardcore. And you have a guy like New Jack, 58, died, but I mean, he was also. I mean, seriously, I think. For him, wrestling's probably the best thing because he probably would have ended up in the penitentiary. The amount of people that he stabbed, you know what I mean? Like he stabbed people, and it's just like holy crap! Like, did you see that incident with mass transit back in '96?
No.
Which so this kid, 17 years old, goes in, lies to Paul Lee, so he lies to Paul Heyman, saying that he was 21, saying that he was trained by Killer Kowalski, right? And here's the thing. He comes in, he starts talking to all the talent. This is his first match, talking to all the talent, talking to everybody, telling Devon Dudley and the Gangstas, which is New Jack and Mustafa Ali, telling them how he wants the match to go down. And then asks New Jack to cut him, to blade him. And then when New Jack bladed him with the scalpel, he ended up breaking 3 arteries because he went super deep on him, you know. Then he tried to sue. He tried to sue the ECW after the fact.
What did you expect when you asked a guy named New Jack to blade you?
Coming in hot, but not smooth.
You know. But now you have all these kids doing it in their backyard. Let's throw some thumbtacks. Let's throw some barbed wire. It's like you're not getting paid. Maybe you're getting paid in, I don't know, sponsorships on YouTube. I have no idea.
The dumbest things I've ever done have involved no money.
Yeah.
So true, Brad. So true.
Glory.
Can't buy clout.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking right.
Man. anyways, though, rest in peace, New Jack. I just wanted to get that out there that, he did he wasn't the grandfather of it, but he definitely revolutionized that next level, although it never went anywhere except for the ECW, I guess, really.
He made 8 years longer than DMX or Black Rob, so he's doing
absolutely. There you go.
Seriously.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, my thing with him is when I saw that he was 58, I was kind of shocked because I've been thinking a lot about the life expectancy of some of those guys, and I don't think he was a dude that was like doing a lot of steroids or anything, right? You know what I mean?
No.
He was never a body. He did the other stuff, which amazingly has higher longevity apparently.
Yeah. Well, you have a look at all those guys that have touched the steroids, and they're not even like look at Lex. I don't know if you ever seen Lex Luger recently, but he's a shell of himself, like a shell of himself. When he was a narcissist in the WWE, I think he was the biggest at that point. And all of a sudden, you look at him now; he's skin and bones. I'm just like, oh,
he doesn't make his own testosterone anymore.
Oh, I'm sure.
Wow.
I'm sure.
Yeah, once you're on, you have to keep up with the therapy.
You shut down the old mill, and then you either got to keep putting it in, or you don't got none. And then there you are. Like, it's not a good move, right?
No.
That's why Sean's staying on top of his regiment, making sure he's getting a steady stream of juice in there.
You mean like apple juice? Orange juice?
Sure.
Yeah.
Mexican supplement, Sean.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Apple juice from Mexico. I don't think I told you guys the story. Did I tell you that on my flight home from Vegas, they threw this couple off the plane?
No.
So we're all loaded on.
Were you and your wife the couple?
No. We are not blacklisted from the thing. But I'll tell you how to get blacklisted.
Oh God.
So everyone, like, we're on, and they're like doing like their final checks or whatever, and then this dude comes on, and he's got like, he looks rough, like he looks like he spent a couple days in Vegas,
day drinking. Yeah,
he's got this bag of food, and you can tell it's barbecue from the smell.
Yeah,
that's like very precious to him, and then he's also dragging his thing, and he's like profusely apologizing all the way down the plane. We're probably like row 23 or something like that, and he was behind us. So he like comes by, he's like, "Sorry guys, I got an hour of sleep," And it's like 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. And so we're like, yeah, no big deal. And then here comes his wife, and she's pushing her travel bag. It's half open. There's like a can of bean dip in it. Like, it's not like, she's disheveled, clearly disheveled. Maybe got less than an hour of sleep. And as she's coming past us, she's like, "Coming in hot, but not smooth." So they're putting their stuff away, and, they're trying to find overhead bin stuff. And, she's, overhead bin above me just happened to be open, so she's like trying to put her stuff up there, and she's apologizing. She's not doing anything wrong, right, at this point. And I don't know what happened prior to that or whatever. This TSA guy comes on, and he looks like one of those guys that fixes the plane in the back, or like checks to make sure the sodas are all full. Like, that's
he's got like the vest.
Yep, that's what he looks like. Turns out he's not. Turns out he's a TSA security guy. So he starts talking to them, and he's like, "Hey, you gotta go." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." And they're like, "Okay." So he walks off, and he comes back with his friends, the federal agents, and she's like, "Oh, now you want to make a scene? Let me show you this scene." I start screaming, right? Just going off.
Shit. She's like, "Did you not see my previous comment about coming in hot and not smooth?"
Yes.
How did you think this was going to go?
The whole plane holds up their phones and starts recording, So she starts going off. She's screaming. She's like, "I'm going to sock you in the face," which is a great thing to say. I forgot how fun that is to hear someone yell, but like,
sock you in the face?
Yeah, it's awesome. Do it like a grown-ass man. She told him, he's like, "You're not." He's like, "You can either
walk
walk
off." From
off.
The 1930s? Who says sock you in the face anymore?
Probably. She probably dug herself out of the bottom of the casino and was trying to fly home. And so they're like, they have this giant altercation. He's like, "You can walk off or you can get carried off." He's like, "It's up to you." And she's like, "Citizens arrest!" It's still like, now we're all laughing. Yeah, it's hilarious. She's still clearly smashed, and so is he. And then he goes, is this because I'm half Mexican? And the whole plane goes, oh. She's like, that's right. Because you're Mexican. And like half the plane is, not like me. And they're all like, you can just hear this collective, nope.
Yep.
So they're like, let's talk a little bit about the NFL. I want to talk quickly just about, maybe not specifically about Aaron Rodgers in totality, but just like the perceived power now that NFL players think they have versus what they don't have.
Yeah, forget about NFL players, Brad. This is a whole pandemic across every sport. Jack Eichel's the most recent one. Well,
he wants to come to Seattle. I mean, who can blame him?
Maybe
he's a good North Chelmsford boy.
Yeah.
I was very fond of Seattle while I was out there.
Yeah,
I know a lot of transplants from here that want to go there.
Yeah, it's a nice move. I think it's interesting to me because we've watched the NBA over the last 2 decades evolve into being a player-driven sport where they can create their own teams and all that. But that's largely because of roster size being so small, free agency being so liberal. There's no franchise tags really, right? I mean, there are, but you can get away with it. The CBA precludes them from doing that. And you can't
the NFL is the only thing that I've ever seen that has a franchise tag, right? So it's like,
yeah, it's wild. I think it's wild if you take a step back from the entertainment of football and look at like the business of football. Man, that's a rough.
But here's the thing: you would never see this, even a decade ago. You would never see this as like, I'm sick of this team. I'm putting it out there on the social media.
Yeah.
Construct my sentences.
Well, they didn't have social media back when they weren't doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
They didn't have the opportunity to do it.
That's a great point, Reed. But at the same hand, how much? Okay, so
but
obviously,
who has it worked for? Who has gotten themselves away from a deal and into a better?
Nobody yet.
JJ Watt.
I think. Well, him maybe James Harden.
He got off scot-free. He wrote the book on how to do this.
Yeah.
James Harden.
If anyone wants to get away from a team and do it cleanly, JJ Watt did it perfectly.
Yeah,
he did.
In the NBA, there's a handful of cases. I just meant other sports, but you're right. JJ Watt is a good example of.
Yeah,
he's the only one that I know did it perfect.
How about defensive ends just rewrite the game on how to do stuff, right? Reggie White breaks up free agency. Now you got JJ Watt showing you how to get away from a team.
Yeah,
that's a thinking man's position, man. Like you got to be sharp, on the field and in life.
Yeah,
sharp and aggressive. Man, those two intangibles you got to have that'll serve you well.
My point that I'm trying to convey here is that these players obviously think that, okay, I am a commodity, and it's so weird to think of yourself, right? You're a commodity, and it's not just a commodity just of what you present athletically, but also your branding, your like everything. The whole gamut is going into this. This is how much I am worth. Because I'm putting butts in seats. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay Packers don't make the postseason, let alone conference finals, without Aaron Rodgers, right? Jack Eichel, who knows with Buffalo. But the thing is, though, when you start presenting this stuff, you're hurting your own organization and maybe even your own trade value, but you really don't care. Because it's the organization having to switch you. But you could be hurting your own value because now the next person taking you on, they could be like the divorced, like somebody went through a divorce is sitting there and going, I just seen you burned that team. What's to say you're not going to burn me 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road?
Every team, though, has so much confidence that their way is better. That's why guys take shots on guys that are troubled because they think they can turn them around. Every coach is uberly confident. So that loses a bit of it for me. I do agree with the value part because let's just say Aaron Rodgers pulls off this trade to San Francisco. Like, let's go back in time a couple weeks. They still have to give up multiple first-round picks over multiple years to get him. So he's not going to a better situation really at all. He's going to do a different system in a different city.
Yeah.
So quarterback is difficult because of the thing that you have to give up to get out.
Yep.
You're not cutting him. There's too much dead money involved with quarterbacks. The salary's too high, all those things. Every other position, you can figure it out, right? You know, what's like the highest talented guy going to pull away from, a draft pick? If it's a first rounder, maybe, right?
Yep.
Not
that's a really good point,
people.
because like if you're in Aaron Rodgers' position, you really do have to think about that, because you're like, how much am I going to make this team better? Because there's going to be some losses just by virtue of me showing up there. And I've now, maybe hurt's not the best word, but I've definitely taken a lot to get there.
Well, you're hamstringing that team, right? You've got to look at it and be like, do they have all the pieces in place for the next 3 years that we don't have to get a first round pick? And, some of the math that works too, we've listened to it in Seattle, them say, well, we'll trade this first round pick because historically we draft in the late 20s.
Yep.
And the guy you get in your late 20s, you could get early second round. You know what I mean? Like, that's negligible. But you're talking about giving up, I think the offer was 3 first round picks and 2 second round picks. Like, that's 5 quality starters over 3 years.
Yeah.
In a lot of teams, you got to look at if it works out. I don't know the answer, but
what he ended up doing, this guy was so desperate, he went into this gym, talked to some local guy there, and this guy sold him Mazola oil. Not steroids, Mazola oil. He didn't know. So he's jacking Mazola oil up inside of him, right? He gets this big old thing on his butt. And I'll never forget this, though, when he goes, Daddy's got this thing on my butt, right? And he's just like, okay. He goes, what are you doing? Well, I'm taking these suppositories for it. They taste horrible.
Yeah.
well, you get what you get.
Suppositories, they taste horrible.
Kids, stay in school. The balance of life is not for everybody.
No, it is not.
All
It
right.
is not.
Anyways, though, just thought I'd mention that. This is probably never going to make the podcast, so I don't even care.
Eating suppositories, that might be a highlight.
It could be.
You're gonna have to have something intelligent to say, Sean.
Sticking it in his butt, this Mazola oil, dude. He goes, I don't know, I'm going to stick it in my ass. And this guy never worked out, man. This guy never worked out, but he walked and chewed gum. So he had the biggest jaws I've ever seen. He had the biggest calves I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with that. All right. Here's a fun fact. This is what I want your reaction to. Tim Tebow is 3 NFL games away from a pension.
Wow.
That's the move, huh?
So
Makes
my math
sense.
says, that he makes it through camp. He gets cut at the end. He's out for week 1, comes back week 2 because that's a non-guaranteed deal, right?
Yeah.
He's going to suit up 3 weeks. Let's say he suits up week 4, 6, and 7. And then week 8, or whatever the bye week is, he's going to retire to spend more time on his nonprofit and spend time with his wife.
Whatever to his baseball career.
He's not getting a pension playing baseball, son.
No, I know that, but I thought he was like,
That was the weirdest thing. They offered him, I think they offered him a major league invite this year, right? And he turned it down. I don't have a passion for baseball anymore. I'm 33. Well,
he should have, okay. It makes sense what you're saying. I didn't even know about that he would have
I
been
didn't either. I found out
eligible for
yesterday,
a
and then I
pension.
went home and I Googled it, and sure as shit.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. So that makes sense. Now that you put it out like that, yeah, that makes more sense. All I keep thinking is, and Reed, I know you're going to jump all over me here as soon as I say this, but he should have taken that contract. He should have taken that contract with the Alouettes, came out. Anthony Calvillo was ready to coach him.
Oh God,
QB.
Sean, he's not trying to win any hardware in the fucking
Who
CFL.
cares? You go out there, you press some scouts after the fact. Who cares?
He made more money playing minor league baseball than
exactly.
He was in the NFL.
Yeah,
but if you have a passion for football,
I think he does have a passion for football, and I think he has an iota of self-respect
If he had a passion for
that's why
He has
football,
a passion for college football. That's what makes him a great game day. Now.
yeah. If he had a passion for football, okay, why not take Bill Belichick's contract? So Belichick was ready to sign him as a tight end. He was ready to sign him as a tight end back all them years ago.
He didn't think he was going to need a pension. And now, like the rest of us, he realizes into his 30s, like, man, I should get a pension.
Yeah.
Working.
Listen, I'm not going to fault the man on that. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
I just wish I saw him in a
He
Montreal.
doesn't strike me as the most intellectual, cerebral person.
No.
He's a nice guy, right? He does.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He's very athletic.
He takes his neighbor's barrels in
Yes.
on trash day,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like,
But I'm not going to ask him about string theory or
Yes.
where does rain come from. Why
He's
is
at a
the sky blue?
stretch. Yeah, he's Jared Goff, right? He's not quite sure where the sun rises and where it sets. He just knows what happens.
Yep.
This is what it is.
Yep.
I'm just saying there's a chance he didn't know that he was that close to a pension when he turned all those offers down.
yeah,
I'm saying it. Now he does, and he's got a shot with Urban Meyer.
It's so funny when you're
He's gonna
young.
play special teams, man. He's not going to catch a pass. Watch. He's not going to be a red zone target.
Yeah.
He's not going to catch 50 passes this year.
Listen, he's happy to be in
Have you ever
Jacksonville.
seen Tim Tebow catch a ball, a football?
No,
But everyone assumes he can do it, and maybe he can. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
I don't know.
I don't know
He's the right size for a tight end, and he might
Yeah.
just become like
I
that
think
defensive. Like
he
we got to
could have
make
been
a running
He probably
play.
could have been a very serviceable tight end if he would have
Yeah.
made the transition in his 20s, like Belichick wanted him to do.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing, though. Hindsight, you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, "It's like, no, I want to be quarterback. That's what I'm going to be as quarterback." Who's the last great left-handed quarterback you could think of besides Steve Young?
Byron Leftwich.
Great. I didn't say serviceable. I said great. All right, serviceable. Let's just go with Leftwich. Okay, let's just go with that. Because then Kenny Stabler is the only other one that I could
I
think
think
of.
that
Won a
you're-
Super Bowl.
I mean, I watched Leftwich take a team that wasn't anything to the playoffs. I don't know what else
Okay.
your definition of great is.
Super Bowl.
I remember,
Yeah,
his,
but
I remember
that's-
his teammates carrying him down the field because he couldn't put pressure on his leg and still stood in there and threw a game-winning touchdown pass.
Yeah, Sean, you can't measure greatness in a position by a team metric like a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, that's the most fitting thing.
Frig off, Randy. You know,
Nine locks is also the amount of hair plugs you have in right now.
you can be great and never go to a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Like that's because greatness is a positional thing, right?
Yeah.
And too often, you know,
by your
greatness
definition,
gets
Dan Marino's
conflated
not
with.
great.
No, he
By
went to
your-
Super Bowl. He went to Super
Win
Bowl.
it. He didn't win it.
He didn't win it.
That guy was
Ice
fucking
cream.
phenomenal.
It's like
You
ice
know,
cream.
It's like
Ice cream. Mm. Beer's ice cream. Mm.
oh Jesus.
What's the ABV there on that deal?
7.
Oh. And how many are we in now? There's 3.
Yeah. 3.
He's shit talking Marino over there. He's
Yep.
definitely
I'm
had a
not
couple.
shit talking Marino. You're a shit talking Marino.
Sean, you said that greatness equals
No,
Super Bowl.
left-handed quarterback, great.
You said
Period.
greatness
Oh,
equals
so now it's
Super
only
Bowl.
left-handed greatness.
Yeah, it's only comparing it to left-handed. Come on now. Come on.
Okay.
Good
You know,
day,
Belichick-
Marino. Come on. Come on. He
Belichick,
went there.
likes left-footed punters because the ball spins a different direction. I do want to talk about just the business of football quickly. This was pointed out to me yesterday. I learned a lot of things in the barbershop. And this is one I'll bring back to you.
And you got a sweet haircut.
Yes, it's the best fade. And you should come out just to get one.
Dude, I'm jealous because all the barbershops are closed here right now.
Listen, I'm just going to say this. I don't think he would mind me saying this, but if you treat your barber well and have a relationship with your barber, you can get a haircut in the pandemic. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, of course. They're gonna go out of their way to make sure you're getting taken care of because they don't want you to potentially find someone else too.
Right.
You
Listen,
know,
you've got to take care of your
that's-
back, Sean.
I know a lot
I'm
of salon
sorry.
artists and stuff like that. You have to keep up with your people, because that's your Rolodex. And if you lose your Rolodex, you're nothing.
I'm just a good guy, man. I'm just a good guy. You know what I mean?
You go to the hair salon.
Oh God.
Rob.
Hair salon. finish your point. I'm gonna get back.
You know how to do the touch of gray there that he likes so much.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like my gray. I
A
don't
little bit more
color.
than a touch.
I don't have no touch of gray. This is pure Valancourt.
It's like someone played a prank on you with a salt shaker. They're like,
60% of the
unscrewed it
time,
before
it
the
works
hand.
every time.
All right,
Are we gonna touch on Deshaun Watson saga
Yeah, it's good.
at all?
man. We have to. I hate going down
That-
this road. I
That
hate
tweet
going
from
down
Ian
this road.
Rappaport, man. Like I know it's this is dangerous waters because if you say anything that might, you have to be really careful when you talk about this thing because you're looking at the
Yeah.
situation and there's a way to do it. Where Deshaun Watson's defense team can make it look like it's bullshit, and they're doing a really good job of that, right? Like in that tweet that Ian Rappaport put out yesterday. Definitely did a good job of that, where he's like, listen, we're not going to accept any settlement that doesn't allow everyone to say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be 100% public, 100% visibility, which there's reasons why you wouldn't want to do that around stuff like this, to
Yeah.
protect people.
Typically,
But
yeah.
at the same
Typically,
time,
any lawsuit that involves an NDA is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is an admission of guilt of some kind.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
but there's also a lot of stuff that maybe us as the lay people, and when it comes to legal, maybe there's some like protection things that actually is there for, right? Because I always like to think that if there's something on the cup that says the coffee's hot, there's a reason it's there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
but that only happened because like so many idiots were there going and
Yeah.
spilling coffee on their lap, going, "Oh, I wasn't
As
expecting
someone-
it to be hot." Like
As someone
Kramer.
who writes policy and has written policy for a while, like you don't want to write too many rules, but you have to write rules that you have to defend, and you don't.
Yeah.
Want to, it's
Well,
gotta
if
be
you
in
watch-
writing
if
have
you
to
watch
defend.
Seinfeld-
it's a CYA thing.
If you watch
Yeah.
Seinfeld, you
just
saw
have to have a hammer. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if someone breaks that rule, you have to be able to stop that behavior. In this world we live in today,
Yeah.
in America at least, and so
But yeah, we're
Yeah, but you guys-
wildly litigious nation, and
Yeah.
we're looking at a situation here where, listen, the people that have come out against Deshaun Watson, why they've associated themselves with this particular attorney who does have a really not great history.
Yep.
He's got a colorful past when it comes to stuff like this, and even with this case, the stuff he's asked for, it's very shady.
is like Stormy Daniels' lawyer.
Yeah,
Similar
Yeah.
to
it's like ugh. I'm not sure that's the guy I want to, it's like Lionel Hutz from The Simpsons, where you're like, why are you going to that attorney? You get the blue-haired guy with the glasses. He always, defended Mr. Burns. You want that guy. But like, you can associate yourself with an attorney like this, but it's just like he's the guy that started the lawsuit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
So you kind of have to go that route.
Mhm.
But for me, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was reading that tweet, and it's so easy for me to sit there and be like, oh well, Deshaun Watson didn't do shit. It is what my initial reaction was. But you have to be careful about that at the same time, because if there's any chance that, I was thinking about this, if I'm 115 pounds, standing there with Deshaun Watson, if I'm me, I'm 3 bills, right? I'm 6'2". If I'm there with Deshaun Watson, there's this air of, I'm going to do whatever the fuck this guy wants me to do so I can get out of there without, with all my teeth in my face. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
so you have to kind of look at it both ways, but
Mhm.
they're doing a hell of a job right now of making it seem like it's a lot of,
Yeah, it's for me. It's
Hooey.
very difficult to be. Not difficult. I want to be very careful in not throwing out all of the accusers in
Yeah.
one fell swoop, because even if there's one that's accurate or true or wronged or whatever you want to say it, that's still one too many. You know,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
that weird thing, right? Like you don't want the truth to get wrapped up in, just because there's 17 liars doesn't mean that the two that are
telling the truth.
really
Or,
wrong
Yeah.
should be not
Yeah.
made whole. So
Listen. I mean, the thing is that Tyson went through the same thing with the rape charges, right? But I mean, let's face it, everybody would believe it's probably a good possibility because,
he did that shit.
you know what I mean? And
I fucking love Tyson, but I
Yeah.
really don't have a question about that, to be honest.
if you go through litigation and it's coming out in the court of law and it's everything like that,
Yesterday,
it's for real.
To the Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle interview from Joe Rogan's podcast.
Oh yeah,
And,
that was a good one.
It's a fantastic one. But what was telling to me is that they're talking about the table that Joe has in his new studio, and he wanted it to be narrower because he felt like he'd be closer to the guests and it would be an easier or like a better interview. And then he sat across from Tyson and was like, "No, I need all. I need back those 2 feet because this is too close to that guy." He's like, the first time I met him, he was like selling weed and he was cool. Like the second time, he was getting ready for his fight, and I was like, "Nope,
Whoop.
No.
nope."
No, and that's the thing with these guys that are super athletes and high performers and stuff like that. They don't follow the same rules, and they don't have the same laurels that you and I and Sean have, where we have to get up for a 9 to 5.
They're not conditioned to it. You know what I mean? There's a bit of emotional intelligence in how we operate every day that you can't just do something to someone.
Mm-hmm.
But if you spend 8, 10, 12 hours every day fighting that urge and pushing through that and doing and retaliating quickly when you feel like that emotion's high, that you can't turn that off when you go home. That's a really difficult part of
and it's something that we grant a lot for our first responders and our military and stuff like that, where we understand like, hey, there might be some PTSD, and PTSD has many shades and colors and stuff like that and variants that manifests itself in different ways. If we take a guy at 18 and say, hey, your job is to impose your will on others, and they're going to fight vehemently against that, but we need you to do that. The same question is being asked of these athletes as well, right? So you're trying to get somebody to do the Jekyll and Hyde thing, and it doesn't work 100% of the time. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't.
Just think about the Colosseums in Rome and the gladiators.
Never been there. I wasn't
I
there.
know.
The gladiators were running around.
But I'm just saying, like you guys.
Who was your favorite gladiator when you were watching him, Sean?
Wow. Okay.
Do they have concession stands or?
I'm trying to make a point. I'm sure.
Are the ruins an accurate depiction of how the stadiums actually were? Were there things that deteriorated since then that we don't?
Can you imagine somebody at the gladiator games just walking around, fresh, cold mead, wonderful wine?
I bet it all tasted like shit.
They all thought I was wonderful.
You don't have to go back that far, Sean. Is the point though? It's like
no, but
we were talking about a guy like New Jack. You could talk about that. Like it's
my point is that they would treat upper talent of gladiators like kings, right? Like they would get.
I don't think that's
the concubines. True. They would get the concubines. They would get absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
If you were a winner, you were treated as a winner.
Yeah.
If you were not,
but you got some benefits. There was a meritocracy there, but you were still a fucking slave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because you're not. Hey, I gotta ask you something. So you find now the older you get, if you eat too late at night, you get a really wicked deuce in the morning. So I shouldn't have eaten that late. Like I shouldn't have eaten, and then it's like
I had Domino's last night, and it was not good this morning.
No, I'm finding that, man. I had what was it? These jalapeno cloud poofs. I don't even know how to explain them. They're not chips. They're like, you buy them at Costco. They're like these like poofs. I don't know. It's supposed to be healthier. It's baked. Yeah. Anyways, so they're spicy. Though,
like
right?
they're like healthy for you, like cigarettes are healthy for you in the 50s. You know what I mean?
All I know is that I ate some of that, then a waffle this morning, and I had the wickedest deuce.
I don't know if the waffle was your problem.
You think the waffle?
No, I don't think the waffle was your problem.
No, it wasn't definitely the waffle at all because it was one of those protein. Again. Like
with the bear on the front, like the grizzly ones. Yeah, we have those too. We eat those pancakes all the time. They're fantastic.
They are good.
Yeah, I like that you're trying to slide off that you just had a single waffle.
I did. No, I seriously had a single waffle. Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? I seriously had a single waffle. What in the world? That's
what else? And what else? Look at you.
Egg.
Look at the size of your head and your shoulders. There's no way you had one waffle and was satisfied. There's just no way.
I had eggs and I had round sausage rounds.
Yeah.
It's breakfast of champions.
Yeah. How many?
Now I'm
eggs?
having beer. What?
6 eggs.
2. Getting old.
What is it, Denny's? Are you going to Denny's? And you
No,
gotta-
no. Everything's closed here, man. Yeah.
Like maybe this is a conversation for when the preseason rolls around, but for overall. But what I want to know is, what's your take, Reed, with Tom Brady coming back to Foxborough on week 4?
I love it. Why not? You know, the average ticket price is through the fucking roof.
That's like
Right now.
$1,400 is like the cheapest price on
Wow.
TV right now.
Yeah, I mean that it's a guy who spent 20 seasons here, ran down at Tampa Bay, won a fucking Super Bowl, and then he's coming back. You know, there's a lot of Bucks fans running around here right now, and I don't like it. So I'm not surprised by it at all.
How
Yeah,
how many 12 jerseys are in the crowd that night?
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that can typically will either spend the money if they have it or not, and the people that can afford it, they're not the best fans, they're not the most cerebral people, you know, and you know, there's a lot of shit that goes on here that you guys might not be privy to because it doesn't necessarily make the media, but you know, I'm sitting there and someone brings up Tom Brady and I'm like, yeah, I don't give it, good for him. He went down to Tampa Bay, he's getting the tax break. He's doing something for himself. Good for him. He's going down to a team where they got weapons and he can win. That should be his number one goal every fucking season. I think that was honestly, he thought he could win in New England until he didn't think he could. I didn't think there was anything else outside of that. And everyone's like, well, do you hate Tom Brady? I'm like, don't hate Tom Brady. I'm not going to worship him either. It's like you chose a parent in the divorce. I'm like, I'm not choosing a parent in the divorce. I'm choosing New England. New England's my fucking team. That's my allegiance. Bill Belichick just happens to be here still, and Tom Brady isn't.
Yeah.
That's lost on a lot of people up here.
Yeah.
Big problems like a mug, and it's gross. So you're gonna see a lot of annoying storylines come week 4. There's gonna be a lot of shit being spun up, and people are gonna bite on it hard. And it's gonna get a little crazy around that time, and then that week will pass. Tom Brady will come up here and stomp the Patriots.
He's gonna make Robert Kraft so much money that week. That's what's great, right?
That's the ultimate thing. Yeah, and he's
Robert Kraft's like, he's like, I'm cool. I'm glad he's coming home. I'm glad he's coming back. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Robert Kraft's never been. Yeah. He's never been a vindictive or.
No,
he doesn't burn bridges. You're
$150 tickets going for $1,400.
Yeah. He just likes his prostitutes.
That's crazy. Listen, he does not. He likes his no strings attached. That's what he likes.
Yeah.
That is a rich man move. He's like, man, you know what? Like, I know what the cost of this transaction is.
Right.
He literally doesn't have the time. He has to. Like, yeah.
He's trying to have a good time and knowing what the cost is. Him going to a bar and meeting somebody, you don't know that cost.
Yeah.
You just don't.
No. Well, I don't want to judge the man too harshly. That was already a few years ago. I'm sure he's walked beyond that. He doesn't care. So.
Listen, man, he didn't give a shit. He showed up to a strip mall limousine. He wasn't incognito.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not a public servant. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
go on an apology tour.
It's a similar line to what Reed was just saying about worshiping a player, like a man. Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's not Reverend Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, there's no other thing. Like, there's no moral standard that you have to hold them to beyond the average person. Because he really doesn't have. He doesn't have the power that comes with like being a police officer. We have to hold to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Fortunately and unfortunately. Clergy, we have to do the same thing. Mayors, we have to do. If a mayor smokes crack, I got some questions. But if Bob Kraft smokes crack, fuck it. You're fucking 90,000 years old.
Because Rob Ford was pretty successful, and he definitely smoked crack.
Well, you have to understand how a mayor delegates authority, and the mayor is just the face of the franchise. He's not. But
Toronto was at its best when Rob Ford was mayor.
Yeah, because other people were making decisions and he got his hands out of it.
Yeah. Delegation.
That's how it works. But he is mayors are voted in by the people. So they have a duty to their constituents to not engage in that.
Yeah. Robert Kraft made himself he wasn't born a billionaire. He made a bunch of money. Yeah. And then he decided to buy a football. Off of what?
Mio.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
That water thing that you squirt.
Oh, he was rich well before.
He was rich way before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like he was into like paper and shit. Like it was all sorts of crazy nonsense.
Yeah.
He's a guy that just like
he
constantly
destroyed the environment to make his billions.
All I know
Yeah.
is that I don't use Mio because Robert Kraft owns it and he owns the Patriots. So
Why?
Because
Bob Kraft doesn't own a team in the CFL.
Is that also why you don't use Gillette?
yes, don't use Gillette either. That is so true. So true. I
Shout
do
out
use
to
Wilkinson sword.
Wait, Sean, hold on a second. Let's explore this a little bit. Do you watch the UFC?
I know it's hard, dude. I have to though. I ignore that, Reed. I ignore that. Okay. Reed, I know who you're going with that. I ignore that. Okay. Yeah, he is part owner. He is part owner of the UFC.
And here's the problem with money in the world today is no matter what you do, and this is for everybody out there who wants to shit on somebody for fucking driving a truck or buying a Coke or whatever.
I don't think he's a bad guy.
No matter what you buy, it's bad. It's toxic. No matter what, because of Wall Street, just in general.
Oh, I'm sure.
Plain and simple.
I'm not even getting that.
Own everything.
Yeah. I'm not even getting into that kind of position. All I'm saying is I don't like New England. But the thing is, though, that UFC, when I saw that his name was on that paperwork, I was just like, no, I gotta watch UFC still.
Is this
You should
because the
drink
Browns and
Neo
the
if you like.
Patriots are a rival, or what's the deal? Where are you at here?
Yeah, because he's the owner of the Patriots. He's the owner of the Patriots.
I don't
I'm a
see the
Bills
connection.
fan. I'm a Bills fan.
Oh, you're a Bills fan.
Oh, you saw the connection a long time ago. Can't believe you say you didn't see it. I don't believe it.
And the Montreal Alouettes, what's the connection there?
What do you mean? What's the connection there? I was living in Montreal.
Oh, you've got like 9 times, so I'm like 9 teams, so I'm confused.
8.
Okay.
He saw someone throw a touchdown pass and felt warm and fuzzy about it, so he fan for life.
All right. Speaking of UFC, you jokers. Speaking of UFC, so Brad and I, we talked about this really briefly. We're on opposite ends of the camp on this here, there, but
No shit.
Michael Chandler getting a title shot, second fight in against Charles Oliveira, oldest man. Like, he's been in the UFC for time. Finally getting a title shot. I don't think he's going to beat Chandler. I'm going to be honest. But the very fact, though, that Chandler, second fight, is getting a UFC title fight. Lightweight.
Wait, who's the oldest man?
Well, Charles Oliveira has been in the UFC for a long time. And I think this is his
You
first...
said he was the oldest man, though.
No, not the oldest man. He's
like the oldest in the
UFC as far as just being in the UFC. He's finally getting a title shot for all the years that he's been in. I'm not saying he's the oldest man to get a title shot. I'm just saying for the amount of time that he's been in the UFC. He's been in for a minute.
Okay.
And he's getting a title shot right now against Michael Chandler.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't even know what to think of this because I know that Michael Chandler is a great talent. But your second fight, you're fighting for the title?
Not his second fight.
Second fight in the UFC, you're fighting for the title?
He came from another premier organization.
I know.
who else
are you
is
listening
in
to
there?
what
Who
I'm
else should be
saying?
in there? Who else should be in there?
I know. I already said Gaethje deserved to be
Just
there.
lost.
He lost against Khabib, the champion.
He still lost.
In the second
So
round.
Oh my gosh.
Let's look at the top 5 here. Dustin Poirier,
Yep.
Justin Gaethje.
Well, that was the thing. That it would have been Dustin
Michael Chandler,
Poirier.
Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor, Rafael dos Anjos, Dan
It
Hooker,
would have been
Beneil
Dustin
Dariush,
Poirier.
Islam Makhachev.
It would have been
We-
Dustin
we-
Poirier. It would have been Dustin Poirier.
Sean,
But Dustin
Sean,
Poirier
stop-
chose the
stop for a
money.
second.
He chose the
Stop for a
money
second.
on Conor McGregor.
Stop for a second.
That's a choice.
Your issue is Michael Chandler's second fight in the UFC.
Yes.
The matchmakers cannot look at, oh, this is only his second fight in the UFC. They have to look at, this is his 30th fight, and he's won this many straight.
Okay.
And he's got an actual. It's not good for an organization to have a title that changes.
His first fight was
all the
Dan
fucking
Hooker.
time.
His first fight was
Yeah.
Dan
Yeah,
Hooker.
I know it was Dan Hooker.
Top 10 guy.
Who took Poirier to the distance.
Yes. And then
he
you know
knocked him out in the
Chandler
first
did? He
round.
knocked him out in the first
know.
round.
I'm not
He
disagreeing with you, Brad.
Listen, he didn't fight some dummy. Right? He didn't fight
That
the
is a very
15th
good
ranked
point.
fighter and knock him out and get a shot. He came
That
in,
is a very good
fought a
point.
legit dude, and destroyed him quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
That is a good point.
Quickly.
That is
Now,
a good
Sean,
point.
you gotta understand here too. Like Michael Chandler's not a guy that is 22 years old. It's not a Sage and Northcutt situation where like, you know, we're like, where is this coming from? It's not a Sugar Shane or Sean O'Malley, whatever the fuck that little weirdo's name is.
Yeah.
It's not one of those situations where it's like, yeah, it's like, why do you have such a hard on for this guy? We know why Dana White has a hard on for this guy. We know why Dana White.
The guy is legitimately talented. I'm not going to say that he isn't, but you
legitimately
look at
talented. He's a hard worker, and he's a fucking champion.
Yes, he was a champion Bellator. I totally hear you.
They knew this situation at 155, how that was going to shake out. There's too many money fights to make that have nothing to do with UFC rankings, right? That's why Conor McGregor's still in the fucking top 10, right? Because there's too much money involved there. They know they have a problem at that division. They know that these guys can dip out at any time, right? And they got a guy in Michael Chandler who's never done that, right? No matter how much money was thrown at him, no matter what, that guy just goes in there. He's a fucking champion, right? They knew when they signed him, one fight, see what happens there. His next fight, if he wins, is going to be a championship fight, no matter what the fuck happens. Whether it was Khabib or whatever. Khabib decided to dip out. You left a vacancy there. It makes total fucking sense.
Dan Hooker was a top 5 contender in that class.
Yeah. But let's
100%.
face it.
Walked through him like nobody.
Yeah. But in that class, there was only one person.
And again, no one's done that to Dan Hooker before.
Yeah,
no one had ever done that.
I hear you. But in that weight category,
I didn't think Chandler would even win that fucking fight, to be honest with you.
it was surprising.
I was surprised.
Surprising.
Not that way.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Certainly not like that.
In the first round, come on, son.
But here's the thing: is that Khabib made everybody look like JV. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Everybody.
Sure.
Everybody looked like JV to him. And I wish that Chandler would have to fight Khabib in order to get a championship. He's going to win a championship. And you know,
I
you
wish
also
that
wanna- you
unicorns
also-
were a real thing because I can make my daughter's dreams come true.
Yeah, Sean, you also want to see Khabib fight GSP, which is just dumb.
Yeah.
I would love to
it's
see
crazy.
that. That's
Like
No,
that's like
why?
my kids thinking I could beat John Jones.
Yeah.
I wish my dad would fight John Jones because it would be really, it'd be really something for my dad to beat John Jones.
Nah, man, my kid said that to me, like, you better shut your little fucking mouth up. He's
Embarrassing.
too crazy, and he's on Twitter, and kids are on Twitter. I don't need that kind of smoke.
GSP's HGH infused nipples just got tweaky when he said, he was like, listen, stop. I don't want any part of Khabib. He wrestles bears.
So it's like, Khabib's out of the picture. He's out of the equation, and like that's no one's fault.
We're good.
He's
For now.
done.
We're good.
He's done.
Two principled. If he didn't come back the last time, he's not coming back again.
for now.
What would be Khabib's motivation?
I think if he sees that Michael Chandler goes on a nice little run, he's like, okay, let's go put this guy in his place. That's
Maybe,
my thought.
But also, what does Khabib gain with that?
He puts this guy in his place. You know that he's not
Khabib
motivated by
doesn't give
money.
a shit about, but Khabib's not motivated by pride either, though. He's motivated by God
Mhm.
and fucking betterment, right?
Mhm.
And that doesn't necessarily mean better for himself. He's done
And family.
everything, and family above all else, right?
He promised
He's-
his mother.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's put himself in a situation, right, where he's still in every UFC fight. He's there still because he's working
Yeah.
corners.
Yeah.
He can continue his legacy that way. He knows that. And listen, fights are not won in the fucking cage. Fights are won in the dojo, in the fucking gym, in the wrestling room. That's where they're won. That's where he's continuing to win. He's winning, right? So that's the betterment for him. It's the age-old adage, right? You want to master something, teach, right? You don't master it until you fucking teach.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That's why when you walk into a black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, the black belts are referred to as professor, right?
Mhm.
As a formality.
Mhm.
That's how you get mastery. He wants to be a master of his art. This is what he's doing, and that's what he has to do. And
I like these. I like these
I
points.
don't think he, dude, there would be no reason for him to do it. And
Mhm.
for Ali, his agent there, as much of as I see him as the problematic dude, I think he respects that. And I think he's going to protect that for Habib.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to put him in a situation. Of course, if Dana says, "Hey, I want Habib for dinner," yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
With fucking
I
Dana.
just, man, when I see Chandler, because Chandler is he's not exactly the greatest mouthpiece, but he did call out names. He called out Poirier and he called out Habib, and I'm just like, dude, some names maybe should not be breathed out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
Listen, Michael Chandler's still in the thing, though. He's still in the thing. He's going to do shit like that. Again, he's got to be a killer right now, and still Habib's younger than he is, and he's still in the
fourth
ether.
ranked fighter in that division right now.
Who is?
Yeah.
Who?
Four.
Hooker? Yeah.
No, Chandler. 4.
Chandler.
Hooker's 6.
Yeah. Well, you just beat Dan Hooker.
Yes, that's why I'm saying. But he's 4, so you can say whatever he wants to say. The guy's in front of him. He's fighting one tonight. There's Justin Gaethje, who doesn't look to be great. I mean, Khabib just ragdolled his ass. And then it's Dustin.
Yeah.
And Dustin's making his money with Conor, and then he'll come fight for the title.
Yeah.
Dustin will get his title shot. Watch.
Now, what do you think of Tony Ferguson with Beneil Dariush here? Like,
Tony did not need to do that to Dariush. Dariush isn't the guy. But Tony's a fucking pitbull, man. He's wild.
Tony's just that guy, though, right? He's hilarious.
That was hilarious. That thing you put in the group chat there about Tony Ferguson saying that Michael Chandler is what? Dana White privileges.
Yeah. That's a great fucking line. I didn't think a guy that fucking crazy, dude. If there wasn't the UFC, he would be busking on the sidewalk breakdancing. He'd have a fucking folded up piece of cardboard, and he'd have a little top hat out that he wears everywhere. He'd be a
fry cook at In-N-Out.
Yeah.
And breakdancing during the day.
Barely keeping it going there too. Like that's why the UFC is so fantastic. Like there's nowhere else for these fucking maniacs. El Kakui is like one of the most appropriate.
Ferguson's been chirping that this should be his fight, but he just lost to the dude that's in that fight. So he doesn't deserve to be in that fight.
He doesn't deserve to be in that fight. No, I totally agree with you. I mean,
and I don't think there's anyone else that deserves it right now.
Here's the thing, though. Tony Ferguson doesn't belong to be in that fight, and he's 5.
Yeah. Well, Tony Ferguson, you think about it. He thought that he could beat Habib as well, and you knew that. No, he couldn't.
Oh, but he could.
After you saw what Habib did to freaking Gaethje, just picking, what do I do? Break his arm or choke him out? What do I do?
I want to watch Gaethje fight again just to see where his mentals are, because there's a spot where if you get beat like that,
he got beat like he was like
you maybe not be good anymore.
Yeah. He just went right through you. Yeah. And I'm sorry,
El Kakui. We'll see how tough he is mentally, because you might be compromised when you get that happen to you. We've seen it before.
There isn't a fighter in that 155. There isn't a fighter that could take on Habib in that whole entire thing. Not Ferguson. One. No, not even Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson is a legend in his own mind.
In his own mind? Jesus Christ. All right. So here's the thing. About Tony Ferguson. He doesn't, when you could be sitting next to, you could be yelling this into his ear, right? It doesn't compute for a guy like that, right? Tony Ferguson can watch Habib fucking rape top fucking contender after top contender in that cage, and it's not going to affect Tony Ferguson whatsoever. There's no getting in Tony Ferguson's head.
Nope. Tony
Ferguson loses a fight, it's Tony Ferguson's fault. He didn't do what he needed to do to prepare, right? If Tony Ferguson prepares and goes in with a game plan, which is a very loose one when it comes to Tony Ferguson, right? But he's a guy that if you want to strike, he's the best striker in the world. If you want to wrestle, he's a fantastic fucking wrestler. And when it gets to the ground, he's a 10th planet black belt, right? That is such a weird.
I hear what you're saying, Reed.
That is such a
Gaethje wasn't a piece of crap either. I mean, this guy was a junior collegiate wrestler.
Cool, junior collegiate, no shit. Wow.
He wasn't he? He was the NCAA, right?
Wow, cool. Ben Askren.
Those right? Two things are not the same.
Tyron Woodley. I can go all day.
The
Brock Lesnar was all American.
Yeah, the JC wrestler and the NCAA wrestler are two different folks.
Listen.
Daniel Cormier should have never lost a fight then by your measure.
No, not at all. Not at all. What I'm saying is that every single one of these people had the ability to defend themselves, and Habib.
Oh, now they can defend themselves.
He goes through them like butter.
Yeah,
like butter.
Sure. Listen. But Habib has not fought anyone like Tony Ferguson. Unless you fought Tony Ferguson.
A motivated Ferguson is a problem for Khabib, but Khabib still wins. Ferguson gives him the best fight.
And again, I'm not disagreeing that. But what I'm saying is, though, if anyone's going to be Habib, it was going to be Tony Ferguson. And that's part of the magic and allure of this whole thing. That's the magic and allure of this whole thing. Because that fight was made 3 times, and 3 times it fell through. Clearly, no one was ducking. Like, bad shit happened. Khabib a couple of times, and then Tony Ferguson once.
Yeah.
So...
No, I hear you. I respect your analysis on this. I just don't know if I agree with it, but I respect.
Doesn't matter. It is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
it's a fact of life. And again, I'll say the same fucking thing about goddamn the Burger King guy, Conor McGregor. Fucking he can go in and win any fight, and we've seen him do that. You know, he's been losing some fights. But he's not hungry. He's not motivated. But you know, if he woke up and his bank account was nil, as they would say over there in Ireland, you know, all of a sudden Conor McGregor's shaking some fucking trees. You know what I mean? Like Conor McGregor has that kind of self-belief and the ability to not hear anything anyone else is saying. That is such a huge part of the sport. And you know, there's not a lot of guys. Diego Sanchez, same deal. Diego Sanchez is just a couple of notches crazier than Ferguson is, to where it's like, ugh, he might get an AR-15 and start shooting people.
You ever sit there and wonder to yourself, would I survive a power bomb through a table?
No, John.
Do you ever sit there and think to yourself, boy, if that guy were to get me and I'm 10 feet up in the air just because of his height,
why would you be 10 feet up in the air?
Because if you've got a guy that's 6'8", by the time you're going up there and everything,
the odds of any of this happening are just getting wilder and wilder. I think you think there's more 6'8" dudes running around out there willing to powerbomb people through fucking tables and having the table there. Most of the time I'm around people, there's no table.
It's not hypothetical. It's all hypothetical. Would I survive?
Fucking weird hypothetical.
Would I survive? This is what I think about.
You want to talk about shark attacks and lightning strikes too? Like,
no, because I know I'll never be in the beach, so I'll never walk on the water.
What if you go to the aquarium and you fall into the shark tank? Did you ever consider that?
Man, that's a crazy hypothetical. I like that. So if that were to happen,
it's somehow less crazy than the one you're bringing up. But
no, not at all. Because I think I would punch a shark in the sensitive spot right there, right?
No, you'd fall in the tank, and then you'd be swimming. You'd be dog paddling to the side, like, "Hey, Joe, my phone's in my pocket. All my funny colored Canadian money is bleeding together. I don't know. They're not gonna know what I'm doing.
It won't because it's all plastic.
And then one of those fucking sharks would come up and take your goddamn leg off. You wouldn't even see it.
Is Canada the new Russia?
Canada the new what?
Russia. The new CCCP.
You and your Canadian bacon. It always comes up.
Rick Moranis, who, by the way, he goes down to the U.S., he gets mugged. In New York City.
Hold on a second. Shut up, you maniac. He didn't go down to the U.S. He was living in fucking New York for the last, 79 years. He's not Canadian anymore.
Yeah, still, he's Canadian treasure.
He's lived in the United States longer than he's lived in Canada.
Yeah, but he got mugged.
Well, he got mugged, but what about that? He
didn't get mugged. He didn't get mugged.
Punched in the face.
He got mugged.
Did they steal anything? Because mugging is they have to take something. They have to take something.
They stole from him, I'm sure.
What? There's video. The guy fucking
They stole his dignity.
They stole.
He gave that back when Honey I Shrunk the Kids 2 came out. So.
Yeah, that guy was like that guy.
We sent our Canadians down there, and you guys treat them like that.
Well, I would say we'd seen our Americans up there. We all know that's not true. So,
yeah, that never happens.
They talk about going up there all the time. Alyssa Milano doesn't shut up about it, and we've been trying to send her money to get a plane ticket or a bus, and she just won't do it.
So they're trying. That's how friendly they are.
But Rick Moranis, in any other place in the world, he's just a tiny little nerd, and only in America could he be a guy that brought so many children who are now men so much joy. Little Giants, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Dude, he was a McKenzie brother. He was a McKenzie brother.
Baseballs.
Nobody knows what that means, Sean.
Baseballs. Are you kidding me? Bob and Doug McKenzie? People know. Take Off to the Great White North. Rush wrote that song. Yes.
Nope.
Oh, come on, man. All right, I got a white
sure
question.
That's probably like a Roman-esque era reference.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. Back when they raced horses and gladiator carts.
Oh my gosh. All right. Who has a wife question of the week this week?
I do not.
No.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I don't have a wife, so I don't have any wife questions.
Oh, for crying out loud, Reed. Sexual partner of the week.
Whoa.
I really don't have one of those either. So
the word Sean was looking for was domestic partner.
I'm sorry. Domestic partner of the week. All right. So my question of the week. So Joanna asked me, and I should have wrote it down. So I'm now going to be going from my own memory.
Oh boy.
Well, this is shaky. This flies in the face of this segment to begin with.
It's shaky. But anyways, so she asked me, and I was there already, like astounded. Like, what? Why is it that men want to talk sports more than play sports?
I mean, I don't think that's true. I would rather play sports than talk sports. I just can't. So
yeah, 100%. I don't have time to fucking join a beer league softball or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't have time for it. I have time for this.
Yeah. I was your pain tolerance to be
I was this close when I was in St. Jean-sur-Richelieu to joining.
No one knows where that is, Sean.
Thank you. Anyways, in Quebec, someplace.
In 1993, I was this close to joining a field mouse hockey team.
No. It was going to be a junior CFL team. So one step below the CFL.
That's how easy it is.
Yeah. What was that, Brad? Sorry.
This is my nephew who plays C team football up here in high school. Is going to play in that league too.
Yeah, I almost joined as a running back. I decided to myself that at 44, this is probably not a great idea. So,
you're gonna call Jerome Bettis for advice?
This is why we blank out when you bring up the CFL. Yeah. You were almost, by virtue of the fact that you could fill out a form, in the league below the CFL.
Gonna play.
And then you wonder why we kind of blank out.
Not D tackle, not O line.
The skilliest skill position.
Not left out. You're gonna play running back.
Running back, yeah. Short yardage.
Yeah.
Story of your life, huh?
Yeah. By cardio performance short yardage. So like, all right, run around the end. I got a yard. I got 3 feet.
Just to let you know, at 44, I was teaching basic training. I was in pretty good shape. Just to let
you know. Were you regaling everybody of the days of the Coliseum?
What in the world? That ain't going anywhere, is it? Oh, gosh.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
Predictions for tonight for UFC. Who wins the championship?
Michael Chandler. He wins it.
God damn it, man.
Even though I'm against him being in it,
he doesn't deserve it, but he's gonna win it.
He's gonna win it.
The worst take.
Yeah,
so terrible.
Sean, do you have any like logical train of thought with anything? Like, do you connect any of these things? Are you just like taking everything as it comes and just
no? I'm not
how did you come to that conclusion?
Because I looked at this guy's stats and everything. I don't agree he deserves a title shot, but he's going to beat Charles Oliveira.
So you don't agree that he should get a title shot. You don't know of anyone better to take the title shot right now.
And he's going to win.
You somehow brought up Habib in that whole thing, who's fucking retired.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring up like Jens Pulver and Kyle Uno and BJ Penn too while we're at it? No.
BJ
you want to call any of those guys?
No.
Didn't BJ Penn whoop GSP? It looks like a real sour taste in Sean.
Oh my gosh, no, he
But
didn't.
the sour taste. In
Holy
Sean, no.
jeez. Wow. No, he didn't. He didn't lose. As a matter of fact, old BJ lost twice to him. Matt Sarah.
One of those fights.
It's only Matt's. It's only Matt's. Matt Hughes and Matt Sarah. That's it. It's only
The mat they wrestle on. The mat they wrestle on also.
Three mats.
Yeah.
One of those BJ Penn fights. I think it was the first one. I think BJ Penn actually won that fight.
No, it was Matt Hughes.
No.
I never contested decision, but because I think it's pointless. But if you put a gun to my head and ask me, I don't think GSP won one of those fights.
BJ Penn got robbed in that initial fight. That's why they got the rematch.
Wow. Yeah, and then he goes, "Oh, he's putting Vaseline on his body."
He was.
No, he wasn't.
That's why they have a rule. They can't bring.
I saw what he was doing, training underneath the ocean with rocks. It's like, yo, homie, you're losing this fight because you got no cardio.
Sean, in the times we're in right now, we have to be a little more sensitive to AAPI people, which you're included, being the Fijian warrior. So I feel like you would have more camaraderie and loyalty to your fellow Islander.
Hey, tell other Brad a little bit more, because he said that I was culturally inappropriate wearing my Hawaiian shirt.
It's appropriating Hawaiian culture by wearing
inappropriate. Yeah, you're not Hawaiian, and that's a Hawaiian shirt.
It's a South Pacific shirt. It's not Hawaiian. When did Hawaiians get the corner on the market for?
So I'm American. Does that mean I can start wearing can I start wearing 10-gallon hats since I'm American and Texas is also America?
Absolutely. Cool? Why not? Yeah, you should do it.
You're insensitive.
I wouldn't take hat advice from Sean.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. After Monday, you shouldn't.
Could not believe what I was seeing when I tuned in.
Oh, that was brutal. Anytime you said anything to me, I was like, "Excuse me, sir. Is your camera screen not on? Are you not able to see yourself right now talking to me like that?"
I just grabbed the hat and I put it on.
You should have been in bed because your paper route was going to come up early. So terrible.
Extra, read all about it. I have another bad take on something. So, all right, Michael Chandler's going to win this fight that he shouldn't even be in.
He shouldn't be in it, but he's going to win. That's right. Keep going.
That's all I got. That's
Tony Ferguson loses. Let's go on that route. I'll jump on that branch.
All right. Darush.
Just so we both have bad takes in this episode, I'll say Tony Ferguson's going to lose.
Yeah, honestly, I like Beneil Dariush a lot. A huge fan. I love his stuff. I don't think he beats Tony Ferguson. I think Tony Ferguson is pretty motivated, and seeing him that fired up after Brad directed me to the video. I think we're dealing with textbook Tony Ferguson tonight. So,
yeah. Well,
and I love how Sean's not even trying to bring up hockey playoffs right now, because the North Division somehow only has 7 teams, yet they haven't been able to finish the fucking season already.
What do you know? What else? Because of Vancouver? Because of Vancouver? We already talked about this. Talked about this. I don't care about Vancouver.
I could not believe that they still don't have a plan for how the playoffs are going to proceed.
No, we know.
Because now they're saying we have to have an answer by whatever the day is.
Listen, they could play, the Canadian division could play right up until the conference finals for them, right? Like right up until the quarterfinals.
They haven't figured out travel yet. That's the silly.
They're traveling within their own country. They're fine.
No, listen, for the finals, they haven't.
No, they're going to have to go down to the U.S. and then
you bums are gonna hamstring the fucking whole thing. You irrelevant fucks, right? You guys are gonna hamstring the whole division.
No,
and we're hold up somebody from the West winning a goddamn cup. It's embarrassing.
We're either going to do that, or all 3 of the divisions are going to come up to Canada. One or the other.
Sean, when's the Maple Leafs first playoff game?
Wednesday.
Oh, when's their first loss?
Wednesday.
Shut up.
Do you know when the Bruins' first game is? Today.
I know.
It's in like 7 hours.
I know. Listen. We're the ones that have to pick up the slack on this, all right? You guys have the nice, easy, whatever. We can use one goaltender. Stop. You can use one goaltender the whole entire time.
There isn't a better argument against socialism than the NHL right now.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to say that.
Listen.
Because of Canada.
all I know is that we're gonna have to play back-to-backs in order to catch up with you guys. Okay, so this is not better for us. All right, and we have to start on Wednesday because the stupid Canucks have games to pick up. So
They
we
don't
start on
matter.
Wednesday.
They should just cancel. It's stupid.
They should. They
South Park
should.
was right. South Park was right.
Yeah.
What's South Park would blame
Blame
Canada?
Blame Canada.
I knew you were going there. Listen. They're gonna figure it out, right? We'll get up. Toronto's gonna beat Edmonton. We'll be in the conference finals. It'll be the first time ever the Canadian team's gonna make the Stanley Cups. We're gonna beat Colorado, and that's that. Maple Leafs forever. Maple Leafs forever. There we go.
This
Beating
is just
Colorado.
Like, it's just like your
pigs will fly and unicorns.
yeah. It's more delusions. Khabib's gonna fight GSP, and there's a 6'8" guy running around waiting to put Reed through a fucking table.
The winner of the CFL playoffs is going to play the NFL playoffs for world domination, right?
No, that's
that and more
a
next week.
That's a bad idea. All right, one-on-one questions. This is my last thing.
Okay, go.
So, all right. Having said this, what is your greatest fear if you were a professional wrestler?
Tashiki or whatever his name is.
Huh?
What's his name?
Tashiki. What?
Tashiki. What's the guy that wears the man thong and gives you the stink face? What's his name?
Oh,
That's my-
Rikishi.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Rikishi, yeah.
Yeah,
Rikishi.
Rikishi is my greatest fear.
That's your greatest fear? Reed, what's your greatest fear?
My dick popping out of that little fucking speedo thing, or the sock that I would inevitably stuff it with.
It's hard to
Falling
stay
out as
unmarried
well.
if you're showing the tackle.
So you're not afraid of Mankind ever giving you the old Mr. Sacco mandible claw?
People did that to me in the Navy. I got that treatment in the locker room in high school. Not worried about that shit.
All right. Do you have
I was an altar boy when I was a kid. Come on, you're gonna have to work a little harder than that.
Okay.
And they get pretty early in the morning. You'll have to get up.
Brad, do you have one
Hockey.
for me or no?
Hockey's your favorite sport?
Is that my question?
No, I'm just confirming. Is that right? NHL hockey is your sport, right? That's the you had to guess.
Yes, Brad. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Gonna make a thing.
Okay, 30 seconds. There's 4 teams that don't end in S. Who are they?
The don't end in S. Minnesota Wild, Colorado Avalanche. I think there's only 3 teams.
Oh.
Wild, Avalanche. Just give me a second. What's the other one? Avalanche, Wild.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
Oh, come on, man. That's not even right.
4, 3, 2.
All right, give it to me.
Tampa Bay Lightning, Seattle Kraken. And that, folks.
Kraken is not a real team yet. Kraken is not a real team yet. That will be the 4th. There's only 3.
They're in the board.
The Lightning. How
They're in
dare
the board.
you?
They're in the
We
board.
only got 2 of the 3 anyway. I don't understand
What is that? What is that?
There's 4. You didn't even get the 3rd. So
I would have got the 3rd. You had to be with a 4th. And I'm there going 4th. What's the 4th?
that was not confusing to you. Listen, everyone knows you just say what you know. You know too. That's all. That's all the record will show.
Wow. Oh man, Reed, do you have one?
What the fuck?
A one-on-one question?
Yeah, what the fuck?
He just asked you. You. The question is why we're still here.
Okay. Oh, we didn't even mention our sponsors.
Yeah, I tried to give you the opportunity earlier with saying how you don't use Gillette anymore, and you just like waved right by it. So
I did because I was trying to think about my neck. I wasn't thinking about my balls.
Use our code Guys Beer Sports 15% off at smoothmyballs.com. Thanks to Flyers as always. Those folks do a fantastic job, food and drink. Stop by, get it, hit it for the weekend. Till next time, fools. Peace out.
Righto.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.
Are all your wife questions from Joanna?
They are, because it is. Yeah, I actually literally muted myself and asked her, hey, yeah, what question of the week? I figured you two jabronis don't have one. So
was I given homework that I was unaware of? I don't know how the onus was put on me, the guy without a wife.
I'm sorry. You're right. You still have guest privileges. You're right.
A man with a beard and a fro like that who wears the chest hair out of his shirt like that, it's surprising to me that you've lasted this long. You must be a very mentally tough person.
Yep. 100%.
You just have it thrown at you daily. Just walk down the street.
That's the one.
All right.
One question. He told me offline that he wears a wedding ring just to like tamper down the expectations of that's out.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got the ultimate dad bod going on.
You will not go out without a ring on.
Like, Reed, I'm not trying to knock you, buddy. What I'm trying to say is you're comfortable. You know what I mean? Like,
you're comfortable.
There's a certain, like, I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? When you get comfortable.
Reed is confident you were comfortable. That's the
deal. Reed has produced such a beautiful child. That's all I know. Brad, you have 5 beautiful children. Reed has 1 beautiful children. We adopted a beautiful child. Did I just say children in the multiple?
Yeah,
I did.
Singular.
Yeah.
I just figured that was proper English up there in Canada. I didn't want to feel stupid calling you up.
I did.
We just don't know anymore. Like, no one knows the rules. We have all these different words for things that confuse us. It's very social.
All right.
A lot of brown face.
Free, but it's not free.
A lot of brown face happening here in Canada. World leaders showing up brown faces.
I don't know if I'd say world leader.
Yeah.
He's in the world. He's in the world and he's leading something. But by that definition, I'm a world leader. So Brad's a world leader.
Don, there's no one in the Middle East right now calling Canada for advice on how to advance.
I think they would call me first, to be honest with you. They'd be like, Reed, we're down to our last couple of numbers. It's Canada and you, buddy. What do you got?
Oh my God, this stuff is cool.
Said to make some more beer and sit on the Davenport, and we don't feel like that's going to advance. And something about a field day, but they want to go see something. We're not real sure.
Yeah, we're sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, listen.
Israel's like, how do we deal with this serious situation? Reed, we see how you handle the big Middle Eastern guy every week. What do you got? Like, I don't know, man. Let him talk himself out. That'll be fine.
All right,
get
first off,
going.